Today I'd like to invite you to join me in an exploration, a contemplation, or meditation focused on a fascinating scenario. A tale with great depth and hidden meaning, which for some people will have a sense of mysterious familiarity, and for others will be the key to understanding their real circumstance in the world. Please take a few moments to clear your mind of thoughts. Relax your body, and if possible, close your eyes so that you can picture clearly all that I say. I'd like you to imagine that in a distant, faraway land, there once was a beautiful, peaceful, fruitful, happy kingdom. But this kingdom has been missing a ruler for many years. At the center of this kingdom is the royal palace. It's a wonderful, magnificent building with many rooms, some dedicated to the arts, some to the sciences. It contains many works of great beauty and merit, paintings and statues. And in the center of this palace is the throne room, where the throne sits, empty, waiting for the return of the young ruler who went missing so many years ago. The palace has large, beautiful grounds, which once contained fruits of every type, follies and statues, fountains and groves. When the monarch first disappeared, everyone remained loyal. They carried on with their duties. The garden was kept. The lands were farmed. The palace was cleaned. The routine carried on as they waited for the return. But as the years went on, things started to change. And as one servant after another became neglectful, and as the kingdom started to fall into disarray, the lands became overgrown, and the rooms started being used for family and friends to live in. Slowly and carefully, areas became divided up between those who once cared for them, for their personal use. And although there are still guards at the gates, this is more to protect what they have now gained than to preserve the kingdom and await the return of the young prince or princess. There are members of staff who are still loyal. They exist in all the ranks, but are most common among those who knew the ruler and the heir's parents best. These people have preserved the throne room and are still awaiting the return. But our hero, who rightfully owns this kingdom, is in a situation of adversity. They have lost their memory. Their senses are not clear, and their mind is clouded. They are being drawn towards the palace from a feeling in their heart, but they don't know why. Now let us imagine two possible approaches to the return of this prince or princess. We could imagine that due to amnesia, due to not being able to see things as clearly from undeveloped senses, upon approaching the gates, our royal heir would have to be lucky to meet someone who was completely loyal. And though the guard would recognize the prince or princess, he or she may not recognize the guard. This could lead to an unskillful approach that could give away this disadvantage that our hero is placed in. Perhaps, rather than requesting the gate is opened, with the air and dignity that would be fit of a royal ruler, our protagonist might bargain with the guard. As soon as this starts, the guard knows that something is wrong and may, through fear of losing what they have taken in the absence, or through faults in their character, take advantage of the situation. Perhaps they would ask for more. Perhaps they would deliberately misdirect the ruler, fearful that they would lose a lot if they returned to the throne and fully woke up. We could imagine that if our hero had a sense of entitlement but didn't understand why, they could even reduce to threatening in a very uncontrolled way, and even using threats that show that they're not aware of who they really are. If they were allowed past the gate, we couldn't trust that the guard and his other friends wouldn't take advantage of our poor hero who isn't really aware of what's going on. Perhaps they would do small things for him or her. Maybe they would start to try to extract the treasures of the palace from them. Maybe they would deliberately hide them away in a mundane job, making sure that nothing wakes them up or makes them remember who they really are. We could imagine in this circumstance that a conspiracy would soon form amongst those who've gained by the absence of a rightful ruler. And the more that this went on, the more concerned they would become about the memory returning, for they would be found out in their negative actions and punished. We could imagine that those loyal would deliberately do things to try to wake up our monarch, sometimes through hints, sometimes, if they were particularly brave, through direct explanation. But anyone doing this would feel the wrath of the rest of the population of the palace grounds, those who do not wish to see things return to their rightful place. How different would it be for our hero if, as they approached the gates, they took time. They waited for their mind to clear. They focused their senses. And rather than offering to pay someone who was already on a wage, they acted with the authority fit for their station. The first thing they would do when entering their own kingdom would be to find those who have remained loyal. These, we could logically deduce, would be those who have kept the throne room as it should be. And first and foremost, we would find our way to that throne room, following the same pull of the heart that took us to the palace in the first place. How different would the gardeners, the guards, the soldiers, and the other staff seem to us when our behaviour showed that we knew who we are and why we're there. Once established in the seat that rightfully befits us, we could then, with the aid of those who share in the high ideals of spreading order, contentment, and happiness throughout the kingdom, we could then make sure we fully recover our memories and that our senses and consciousness are perfected, ready for the great and noble work that is ahead of us.